Well, it's a beautiful evening here in the nation's capital, Abuja, and you're welcome to the network service of Radio Nigeria. I have good news for you. Yeah, that's right. Some good news that will make your day even better. The most profitable show on radio is back. Can I get an applause in here, guys? That's right. The Money Gang is back. The show that helps you make the right financial decisions is back. But we're not just back. We're back bigger, better, and even more accessible. If you're new here, please allow me to do a proper introduction. My name is Kayode Okikiolu, and it's my joy to welcome you to the Financial Literacy Public Enlightenment campaign brought to you by the Bankers Committee. Well, our singular goal is to open your eyes to opportunities and funding that can help you grow that business and, in fact, help you navigate those obstacles on your way to becoming financially viable. We'll be bringing you the very best brains in the financial sector. That's from government agencies to banks and other financial service providers. So, brace up. Let's make some profit today, shall we? Well, we're on Zoom, we're on YouTube, we're on text messaging, phone calls, social media, literally everywhere. But it gets even better. This isn't just a one-off, by the way, so it's not just a one-time show and then we run away. Thanks to the great team at the Bankers Committee, this season will run for 13 good weeks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 13. 13 weeks of premium, quality, impactful financial literacy conversation. So, let's get started, shall we? Today, we're kicking off with one of the biggest financial trends in the world right now, and that's digital currency. You probably have heard about it before, but today, we're localizing it because some months ago, Nigeria's central bank launched the E Naira. Yeah, that's the electronic Naira for short. And there's so much benefits to unpack for you in that one. But first, I need you to know that you can be a part of the show today. That's right. If you've got questions or comments, you can send them to this number. So get your pen ready. The number to send your questions to or your comments is 0909 861 5403. So you can send your text message to that number 0909 861 5403. But that's not all. You can also call us on the show live. Yes, you can join in live on the show via this number. That's when we open the phone lines, of course. And that is 0705 149 3324. So again, the number to call us on if you want to be a part of this show is 0705 149 3324. Or you know what? You could just head over to our website. That's smegrowth.ng, and you get access to all of the different channels that you can be a part of the show on. We're actually live on Zoom as well. We're live on YouTube. So head over to smegrowth.ng to be a part of this. We ensured that we created all the possible platforms so we can have a fantastic conversation. If you're ready for the conversation, I'm ready as well. So let's meet our resource persons today. They'll be giving us clarity. They'll be answering those bugging and nagging questions on your mind and providing us with some sound financial advice on the E Naira. So let's get into this. We're joined on the program today by Mr. Tioden Charles. He is the Manager Consumer Protection at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Also joining us is Mr. Rashid Hassan, who is the head e-business at Jais Bank, as well as Mr. Tepase Sambe, who is the head Biz Partners Transaction and e-banking at Keystone Bank, and Idelsa Imen, who is the head POS Business e-banking division at Fidelity Bank PLC. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
It's good to have you, by the way, and I'm glad we're doing this, to have this conversation that concerns all of Nigerians. So I'd like to begin with Mr. Charles this evening. And, you know, we don't want to take you for granted that everyone understands what the E Naira is. A lot of us must have seen it online. But tell us, essentially, what is E Naira, Mr. Charles? Yes, well, I can hear you.
Viewers who are very dear to us, or our listeners, for those tuning to the radio station. So the E Naira essentially is a digital form of the Naira. The Naira in a physical form, simply put, is the E Naira is a digitized version of the Naira we traditionally hold in our wallets or our purse. Now, what makes the E Naira unique as a digital currency is that it is issued by the Monetary Authority, which is the Central Bank of Nigeria. It is backed by law, and it can be used to carry out transactions. Now, one may wonder what is the difference between the E Naira and the traditional money I hold in my bank account, or that I transact through the ATM or internet banking and several other platforms.
Exactly, that was the next question in my mind.
Okay, so the unique thing about this is the technology which is right on, which is the DLT, the distributed ledger technology. And as such, transactions on the E Naira happen on this platform. Okay, so everything you do on the E Naira space, it's out of the traditional banking system where you have the issuers, the processors, the switches midway. So transactions in here are traditionally faster, they are cheaper because transactions on the digital ledger platform comes at no cost. Value is given instantaneously.
Right.
Yes. Those are some of the things on the E-Naira.
Fantastic. So essentially, the E-Naira is like the Naira, but it's E, and you've talked about some of the advantages or the benefits of the E-Naira. It's faster, it's cheaper, and all of that. We'll be breaking this down further, but let me just get the opening thoughts of our other guests, and I'll go next to Mr. Rashid Hassan. I know you've probably gotten questions from a lot of, your customers saying, what is this again? The E-Naira. So what is the simplest way you explain the E-Naira to them?
Thank you very much, Kadi. The simplest way to explain the E-Naira to them is looking at the fiat and looking at saying that, okay, the representation of a fiat, of the paper money they're actually holding in their wallets. So in the world today, we have like eight countries and territories that have actually pioneered digital currency.
Right.
And we have like 80 other countries, including the USA, about to implement, looking at implementing the central bank digital currency.
So we did this before the US?
Yeah, we did it for the US.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and we are number one in Africa. Yeah, to pioneer this. So we are number one in Africa to actually pioneer this, the digital currency. So that means USA is coming behind, Africa. Before the advent of E-Naira, customers were used to doing transactions on some other channels. In 1989, I can remember then, that was when the ATM was actually launched into the market. And people were like, wow, how am I going to use the ATM, in Nigeria? And today, that's the story. Yeah? Because in every nook and cranny, you can easily see ATM being deployed.
Of course.
So we now move to POS. In 2012, POS was actually introduced in Nigeria. In 2012 by CBN, yeah. And when POS came into limelight, people were actually skeptical. And that's something about technology.
Oh, yes.
When technology comes, people are usually skeptical. Once they are familiar, with the technology, they get used to it. They can tend to adopt it, and they can see how simple it is to use, technology. When it comes to technology, really, I guess there are a little bit of challenges. Technology is not really the challenge. It all depends on how we communicate to our customers.
Yeah.
They understand technology, but the way we communicate to our consumers or probably our people matters a lot. So we need to speak their language. That means speaking the technology language, in a language they actually understand.
Absolutely, and that's why we're doing this, essentially to help people better understand what this is all about. So I like the background you gave from the ATM. Did you say 1989?
Yes, 1989.
Wow.
First ATM was deployed in Nigeria in 1989.
Interesting. So from the POS, we moved on, the ATM, we moved on to the POS. Sort of.
In 2012, yeah.
In 2012. And now this is the future. We're living the future right now.
The future, right.
So let me come to Mr. Nsambe, because when people hear technology, and I like the background he gave, when a lot of people hear technology, they sometimes shut down and think, I don't want to learn anything new. So help us understand just how easy it is to use the E-Naira.
Like he said, first of all, this is one of the reasons why we're having this program, to give people knowledge. Generally, people by default have issues with change. people are always in their comfort zone. I'm used, like you said, 2011, if you mention anything around ATM or POS, nobody will be interested. But now, even a blind person will request for POS because it's a means of charge. So the E Naira, as we have it now, is very simple. And like Charles said at the beginning, a lot of thought was put to this to make it very easy for people to quickly get. And one of the major things, he mentioned things about it being cheaper, is true. For those of us in the financial sector, we know that it costs money to make money, for instance. Yeah. So now with the E Naira, that is out of the picture. So the ATMs that you see, people actually have to use bullion vans to carry money to go and fund those ATMs. So that is probably out. Cash and transit costs. Then you're also talking about barriers that people normally experience, for example, cross-border trade. So with the E Naira now, digital currency recognized worldwide, it's very simple. It removes all those bottlenecks, fluctuation in currency, talking about currency conversion, sourcing, so all those challenges. And what is even important, for the first time, the E Naira is taking care of everybody. Today you want to open an account in a bank, you need a BVN. So there are those who do not have those BVNs. But with the E Naira now, with the wallet, all you need is just your name, your date of birth, and your phone number. You will now have access to just probably 20,000 Naira transaction limit daily. Then at any given time you have a balance of 120,000. Now that is tier 0 to take care of those people who do not have BVN. Then if you want to go further to maybe have like 50,000 Naira daily transaction limit, you go to tier 1, and then you now bring your NIN.
So E Naira penetrates.
It penetrates
deeper than even inclusion. The traditional.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So we're going from making sure everyone can have access to financial services. So for those who have been, I don't want to go to the bank, I'd rather put my money in the ground or in any whatever. Now you have access to financial services through the E Naira. So it's simple.
Okay. I'm enjoying this really. And let me bounce this back to our guest, Mr. Charles of the CBN. And this is something I want us to take out of the way completely, because this is a period of, blockchain technology, crypto, and all of that. So help us understand the E Naira in the context of this blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, and all of that, because there's always that, I don't want to say confusion, but there's always the questions around. So is the E Naira like the what's the most profitable Bitcoin now, or Ethereum, or what, all of that? So tell us, how does the E Naira fit into all of this conversation?
Yeah, thank you once again. That's a very valid question and concerns that a lot of consumers have raised. So we can look at this central bank digital currency, which is the E Naira, and the cryptocurrency in terms of, let's start with the issuance. Okay. The E Naira, which is the central bank digital currency, is issued by a monetary authority, which is the Central Bank of Nigeria. Whereas the cryptocurrencies are privately issued, okay, with no central authority. So the Ethereums and the Bitcoins you mentioned, there are several other such currencies that are issued by private players in that space. Okay, we can also look at the issue of legislation. The central bank digital currency is backed by law, and as such it has a legal tender status.
So it's safer.
So it's safer because it's backed by law. Okay, so just like you have your physical Naira in your wallet or in your purse for transactions, for payments. So just imagine that physical form in a digitized manner, in a digitized form. But this time held in an electronic wallet. And it is from that wallet you make your transactions and you make your payments. Whereas the cryptocurrency is not a legal tender. It is not backed by any law. We can also look at it from the point of liability. So the central bank digital currency is a liability of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Whereas the cryptocurrency is not a liability of any regulatory authority. So as we are aware, cash in its form is always a liability of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Okay, because once money traditionally leaves the banks, once you make the withdrawal out of your bank, it no longer becomes a liability of the bank, it becomes a liability of the central bank.
Right.
And so the central bank digital currency in a digitized form still remains the liability of the central bank.
Even though it's in your hands, as it were, but it's still your...
Even though it's in your hands, as it were. Okay? And, one of the very key advantages, we really highlight sometimes the cost associated with currency, printing and minting, the whole value chain of distribution, of processing, even destruction of Naira notes come at a cost. Okay, that is when they are mutilated and are being mocked up from the financial system. So imagine we have a large portion of this cash-denominated, currency in a digitized form. One, it is indestructible. Okay, the issues of Naira abuse we've been clamoring all around will have been taken care of. Okay, it is even indestructible because wear and tear will not set in on a digitized or virtual currency.
Right.
Okay, and so the benefits goes across the entire value chain, from the consumers to the financial institutions, and even to the central bank, which is the regulator.
I'd like you to quickly link that value chain before I come back to my other guest. And I'd like to explain this. You talked about the liability. Who is in care of it? Let's try to break down the word liability. Whose responsibility is the money or the E Naira? So help us understand this, if you can. So when I have my E Naira wallet, is my account domiciled in a bank, like Fidelity, Jais, and the rest, or it's domiciled in the CBN?
Okay, so typically, let's start from here. Money resides with your bank,
right?
Where you have your savings accounts or your current accounts, you have your balances with the bank. So when you make a withdrawal out of your account is debited and money is handed over to you.
Yeah.
So I is with the just as this time the digitized form and you're moving into the wallet. Bear in mind what we mean by liability is that all the cash in circulation is the responsibility of the Central Bank of Nigeria. So when it moves to a digital wallet,
okay, Mr. Charles, for a moment there, I missed some of the things you were saying because of the connectivity. So if you could just take your last point again so we can get that clearly. Okay.
So let me just take off again. I said, when you have money traditionally in your bank account, money is domiciled with your bank. So at that point, it is a liability of the banking institution or the financial institution. Now, when you make a drawdown or you make a withdrawal, the money has left the financial institution. For instance, it is cash. It is now in your possession.
Okay.
So likewise, when you make a withdrawal from your accounts,
right,
either through your mobile banking or your internet banking, to a digital wallet which you've created or onboarded for yourself. So that money now resides with you. So the idea of the liability is such that, every cash in circulation is accounted for by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Whatever happens to that cash is accounted for by the Central Bank. So the same way the digitized form. So just to break down the liability part of it.
Okay, so let's expand this. We'll come back to you in a moment, but let me come back to you, Mr. Hassan. I imagine our audience now, our listener, wondering, okay, E Naira is good. I like the fact that it's accessible, it's safer, it's faster. There are a lot of benefits attached to it. So they're thinking, how do I go about this? I need to have that E Naira, same way I have the money in my wallet, the money in my account, or I can withdraw from the ATM. So what's the first step you need to take if you want to have, 5,000 E Naira, 10,000 E Naira? What's the first step?
Oh, the first step to actually take. Thank you, Cody.
Yeah.
The first step to actually take is to download the Speed Wallet app.
Okay.
For the E Naira from the Android store, either the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store. Just download the Speed Wallet, then simple KYC, your name, BVN, email address, and there you go. It's just simple KYC process, and you are registered. Once you are registered, you can just go to your bank to make a transfer, either from your bank account to your E Naira. Probably all the banks today in the country, they have the E Naira wallet, attached to their mobile banking as well as the internet banking. So if you have a mobile banking already, you can simply just transfer from use your mobile app, from your bank account to your E Naira wallet.
Sorry, hold on. So you're saying that if I have my app on my phone right now, I can actually use the E Naira?
Yes, but the first step is for you to download the Speed Wallet app first.
Okay.
So you go to the either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. Download the Speed Wallet, register, self-registration, just simple self-registration, pretty straightforward. Then after that, then you can go back to your mobile banking. Just put your username and password that you used in registering in the Speed Wallet. Then you can start transaction.
Okay.
So from there you can. So the beauty about the E Naira is you can actually use your banking app directly to do transaction, or you can also use your Speed E Naira wallet app to also do transaction. Either way. So it has given us that convenience, that simplicity. Once you just download, you can start doing transaction. As simple as ABC.
I also like to chip in a little bit. So, like you said, every bank's mobile app now has a menu, has a mode we call E Naira. Now, after you've opened your wallet and all of that, so you log in. I'm just giving you a step-by-step process.
Please do. We need this step-by-step.
So you log in, for instance, to the mobile app, right? You look to go to the mode of E Naira. You have to put in your email address and your password. And to show you that CBN is serious, they made it to be like 12 characters. So at least just to make it very stringent to have access. So after you log into that, you now have access to either you fund your E Naira or you withdraw. So if you want to fund, you probably have your account, your regular account. You have 5,000 Naira there. You can now say fund. It will now bring out your account to tell you which account you want. If you have multiple accounts tied together, you can answer, okay, from this account I want to move 5,000 Naira into my e-wallet. Now once you do that, you have moved money into your E Naira, right? Now, I am on my Speed Wallet and I want to send money to Coyote, for instance. So all I need to do, the Speed Wallet itself comes with an NQR code that you can actually generate and send to you on your WhatsApp. And you can now, from your own mobile app, scan it and make payment to me. Or if I come to you, since it's peer-to-peer, for instance, you can just go into your own Speed Wallet app, you press the button that shows your own QR code, I can scan that and it will transfer to you.
Just to be clear, let's break this down. The QR code is that. What's the QR code? Don't let me take this for granted. Is it like is it digits or it's a picture that has maybe what does it look like, a QR code?
Okay, the simplest way to make our listeners understand, when you go into a supermarket, you've picked up products, so you want to check out, the teller or whoever brings a scanner and scans like a barcode, right? Now it's just it's not numbers,
it's like some bars.
Some bars and everything. So that QR code, what it does is just it's a digital representation of your account details, your email, everything marked, right? So for example now, like what CBN also pushing, like the NQR, for instance, now when you profile yourself on it, your phone number, your email address, and it is mapped to it. So I don't need to give you my e-number, for instance.
Exactly.
It's just those patterns that is there.
So all those, please call your account number for me, or let me quickly check for my account number.
Somebody could even be eavesdropping and...
So you just hold it, and then the person scans it with the camera of his phone, or her phone.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So the same thing with the Speed Wallet. I can do that, send it to you, or scan yours and make payment to you.
And that's the speed you were talking about.
Yes.
So, and it's in real time. All of this happens fast now.
First, yeah.
Okay, let me bring in Mr. Charles. There was something that I wanted to ask him about, and that's the penetration. A lot of people have mobile phones these days. Yes, I mean it's like 2 for 10 naira, but not everybody has that, especially people in the rural area. So, Mr. Charles, if you could speak to that, if we're talking about penetration, just how accessible is it to those people in the rural areas that maybe have just a simple mobile phone, but they also want to be a part of the E Naira? Mr. Charles, can you hear me? Okay, not to worry. We'll come back to him and try to resolve that. But do you want to take that on? Is that...
Yeah, I was going to also add a little bit about the difference between crypto and the E Naira.
Right.
You know, one of the major things about the E Naira that there's no fluctuation.
Okay.
Due to market influence, right? The E Naira is the Naira that you have. So, for those of us who know a little bit about crypto, for example, Elon Musk can just make a simple tweet, and that determines what the value is.
Yeah.
So you don't have like Mr. Charles said, it's regulated. It's a legal tender. It's not subject to market influence and all of that.
By the way, is 1 Naira to 1 E Naira?
Yes, exactly. It's 1 to 1.
Okay, so no all this round tripping of all of that.
No.
1 Naira is 1 E Naira.
1 Naira is 1 E.
So coming back to penetration, from at the point of launch, from what we've gathered, we had about 600,000 downloads, right?
Already.
And about
46 million?
46 million transactions has been done.
That was as at early this year, right?
Okay. So if you look at the number 600,000, and we have a population of maybe 200 million plus, that is just
of course. And I'm glad you talked about the ATM.
Yes.
When it was introduced. I'm still shocked that ATM was actually introduced in 1989,
Yeah.
and a lot of people it took them decades to catch on. But the question is, yes, I can have the money, but what uses money in my wallet, e-wallets this time around, if I can't spend it? You understand? So in terms of spending, or knowing where to spend, or who is going to receive it, who's going to want to receive it, what is the situation like as of today?
Okay. As of today, we have merchants already.
Yeah.
They are accepting E Naira as a means of payment.
Okay, good.
So we have various stores located in Nigeria today that accept E Naira as a means of payment, and people can actually walk into those stores to actually make payments, using their E Naira. Once they get there, they usually a sticker conspicuously displayed to show that E Naira is actually accepted here.
So I don't have to take my wallet or my ATM card.
Your wallet.
I just go in there.
Your debit card. You just walk in with your phone and make payment.
Oh, wow.
It's that simple. Like I said, it's that simple. Like ABC. Just walk into the store. You see E Naira accepted there. Just kind of make payment.
Okay, we're going to explore this, but if you're listening to us either via radio, online, on Zoom, YouTube, wherever, you can always send in your questions, by the way. So let me just take those numbers again. We're due for a break, but I just want to put in those numbers so you can reach out to us. So if you want to send us a SMS, for example, or a comment regarding this conversation on E Naira, if you have a question, it's 0909 861 5403. 0909-861-5403. By the way, you can also send your messages or questions via Zoom. I already see lots of them already. Don't worry, we're working on the back and forth, okay? Don't worry, we apologize for that. We're working on it. And also, you can call us right here live in the studio. That's 0705-149-3324. I'll take it again. 0705-149-3324. 3324. So we'll be opening the phone lines in a moment, but we'll go to a quick break. We'll take a breather, right? We'll get some water, do some quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk on some other issues. How is this being implemented? What are the benefits for you? What is the future of the E Naira, really? I mean, we're catching on the curve quite early, so lots of issues to still discuss, plus your questions and calls. So please join us again.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Are you an SME or business manager trying to find your feet post-COVID? Listen up. The Bankers Committee, in keeping up with its mandate for financial inclusion, presents a 5-week financial literacy radio program to equip you with the skills to thrive in a post-COVID economy. The radio series will focus on SMEs in agriculture, trade and commerce, technology, diaspora remittance, manufacturing, and the export industry, and will feature experts from deposit money banks, development agencies, and successful entrepreneurs who will provide capacity building support for SME growth post-COVID. Weekly topics to be discussed include diaspora remittances and its impact on the Nigerian economy, sustainable economic growth through value addition and exportation, growing the